Hey gang, what's happening? Thanks for joining in again today. This is a new chapter in the stream because I'm finishing off the 80s stuff that I was doing for the last couple of weeks, and yeah, we're moving on to a new release, basically a new album, and I've decided to have a crack at cyberpunk genre, like the game Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm going to be like imitating some of the tracks from that type of game, and yeah, if that sounds good, or you want to be a part of that journey for the next probably 8 weeks. Then yeah, hit sub, and if you like, become a patron. You can become a free patron or a paid patron. Either way, you'll get an email whenever I release something new, and yeah, loads of benefits for patrons. You get the best stuff basically. I don't like release it before the other stuff because I don't think anyone really minds if they get it 10 days early or whatever. I'm not doing a hype machine here. I'm just releasing template files. So yeah, the idea behind all of this is I'm going to be making some cyberpunk themed music, which is Creative Commons. That means you can use it in your games, you can use it in YouTube videos, you won't get flagged for copyright takedowns. And of course, if you want to use it commercially too, it'll be available. Quite happy because I made some sales last night. I made $40 for 2 of the tracks, the 90s tracks that I've done. So that's pretty cool. Nice way to start the day. So today's a fun stream because this week has been disastrous actually with streaming. The internet weather has been terrible, so I decided to just give myself a bit of a break. I'm showing up again here today, which is cool for you guys, but I'm going to give myself a break today and really just noodle around with some of the stuff. Wait, I just realized I got problems with the stream. Let me check this out. All right. Okay, I'm going to be noodling around with some of the... Oh, there's something weird going on. There we go. Cool. With some of the cyberpunk themed music, basically. Sorry, but it's been a long week and I'm trying to catch up. Okay, so what are we doing today? It is fleshing out the sound of what I'm going to try and achieve. So you'll notice on the right here, I've got a document called Patches, Plugins, and SE Key Switches. SE stands for Symphony Essentials, which is one of the native orchestral libraries that I've been using for a while. You also notice this red device over here, which is my volume control. So watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need that because I'm listening through my actual speakers today instead of trying to use headphones, because I think it's just headphones get a bit much. So let's get on to some actual music making now. What I'm going to do is take a look at what I've already got here in terms of sounds. I'm going to try and flesh out a sound library. So yeah, we've got one here called Contact Vintage Organs, another one called Data Transmission. I've got Massive open, so let's take a look inside and see what pops up. I'm glad that Massive is actually showing because a lot of the time you don't see what I'm seeing. Okay, cool. So I think there is one called Data Transmission. Let's take a look. So I'm making notes on which patches are sounding like the right sound, basically a palette of sounds for cyberpunk genre. It sucks that you can't actually just search by alphabetically. I'm scrolling through 3 columns here trying to find the right one. It's called Data Transmission, DA, Deep Forest, Dark Within. There we go. Cool, so we load that up. That's more sci-fi than the genre I'm going for. So I'm listening to the soundtrack to Cyberpunk, of course, to get some references. I won't play it for you because then my stream will get flagged, basically. But I'm gonna just I'm going to make sound alikes of these tracks, like copyright-free, similar sounding tracks that can then be downloaded and used by the game and video community, people who are into cyberpunk. So let's get on with it. I can hear that. You shouldn't be able to hear it, but I can hear this stuff in the background. Now, cyberpunk is all about distortion, and so we're going to make friends with devices like Guitar Rig, for sure. Let's get that out in the meantime. And I'm just going to make notes, basically. That's what today is about. It's just about fleshing out ideas, finding a palette of sounds to move forward. I don't know how we're going to do this with regards to making it available as a standalone download, because what I generally do is I release portable Ableton installations, which means that you can just download them without any missing samples or files. But if I'm using native instruments and guitar rig and that kind of thing, it's going to be a problem for those who don't have those devices on their computer, or those instruments on their computer, to run these templates. So maybe including a list of dependencies, that's one option. Other option is just to bounce down the files, anything that sounds like synth sounds or that kind of thing, just bounce them to audio and use as much default library sounds from Ableton itself in order to distribute the packs. That's one option. That's how you make it available to people who need it in their games. I'm always on the fence, like I want to make quality, but I also need to make it basic, because you can't really do, there's a limit to how much you can do with like Ableton's onboard sounds. So it's always the trade-off, am I doing it for myself or am I doing it for the community? Most of the time the community wins. So let's get on with this. Got guitar, got massive. Let's just start scrolling patches and making names of anything that sounds similar to the original Cyberpunk soundtrack. Any instrument that stands out, anything that basically can be used to emulate that. There must be a patch browser here. Literally today is just about having fun, like that's all I'm doing. I'm not putting myself through what I just went through this week. It's embarrassing when you're like, your internet like does such a poor job. Circuit channel. There we go. Circuit disrupt. That's most definitely an option. Let's pause the playback. Oh, yes, I love this. Well, I'm going to use that as a pivotal part of this. So next thing, I make a note of that in patches key switches, which is massive. Circuit disrupt. And I know that like this stuff that I'm doing here is under sci-fi, but I'm just kind of categorizing cyberpunk along with that. Just listen to that. It's filthy. Oof. And it's so nicely stereo. Such a nice widespread there. That's definitely a keeper. Okay. It's a clap. You hear a lot of this kind of sound now in soundtrack music. Clarity. I like it. This is maybe for like a ominous track starting sound. It's got the distortion that I'm going for. I think there are going to be a lot more sounds than I need, basically. Trance, okay, classic trance. Claws. When you're previewing these types of patches, don't forget to go high too. It's useful to get the low brooding sounds, but a lot of these patches sound bad when they're low and good when they're high, or vice versa. Not bad, but just not useful, you know? Question is, how do you make music out of this? Because this is like sound design. It's using these tools and getting something out of them that creates this like the sense of music being made, and not just I wonder if you can page down through this. No, but you can page down through those. That's cool. Also, everybody loves generative stuff where you just hold down a key and it plays a dope beat for you. Like, that makes your life really easy, right? I'm just gonna keep this cyberpunk stuff going in the background. No. Really just screwing around with sounds today. If you just joined, that's what today's stream is about. It is finding sounds that I can use for this upcoming cyberpunk themed album. No. I mean, like low brooding bass sounds are a dime a dozen. You never have to look very far for those. What I'm looking for is the distinctive sounds, those which are going to make this album sound just like the Cyberpunk theme track, soundtrack at least. Okay, let's pause there. To like, nah. What is this? That's good for action. I'm going to use that for action. Continents. Cool. Massive continents. And this can also just be like sort of generative. So this is a rhythmic. Rhythmic is my sort of catchphrase for stuff that you can hold down a key and get rhythm out of rather than harmony. Low and brooding. It's cool. It sounds like Flesh, that Tim XL instrument. Coronization. Interesting. Okay, let's just hear that without the backing sound. I think that's got some potential to it, right? This type of ambient atmospheric stuff that then leads into a drop. This is the type of instrumental break that you'll hear before you get a nice dubstep beat or whatever. Cool. Coronization, I like that. It's useful. Let's use it. I'm going to just flip back to here. You don't need to see that every time. I'm just going to use it on the other screen. Sorry to cut you out. Coronization. So already there's like loads. But I'm making notes of which ones are like standing out for me. And I'm going to do very little tweaking on Massive because I mean it is an absolute beast and I don't really know how to use all the parameters. I haven't studied it. You would need to study it in order to know, of course. Cool. Counting comets. It's nice and fat, but it sounds like rounds at the reactor instrument. No. We're listening for distortion sounds and uniquely cyberpunky sounds. I mean, that's creepy. Creepy stuff works. It's got a nice bass, that. This might be useful for when some melodic bass is needed in those. Before I start even getting into it, I'm just going to make notes, otherwise it's going to be a whole side quest. I'm going to call that a bass sound. Okay, next up, we're still in the C's. Oh, that is quite nice, actually. This is the sound that I was going for. It's got a high resonance value, and it sounds quite like the bass line from the. It's acid house, that's what it is. Cyberpunk is quite influenced by acid house, so we're looking for that kind of thing now. Creek bark. I'm going to call this creek bark. And this is acid house bass. That's the one, actually. No. Ambient. So the two categories I've got so far, one is like bass lines, another one is ambient or atmospheric stuff. What I'm looking for now, I mean that's a good start. What I'm looking for now to create a sort of cyberpunk palette is I'm confident I can get the drums in, that's not a problem. So we'd need bass, drums, atmospherics, and definitely some kind of like melody. Let me just give this more of a listen, see what's cooking here. Ambient atmospheric stuff is no problem, and besides I don't think there's going to be too much of a demand for it. What I make is banging music for people with very short attention spans, so that's why my ambient stuff has performed so poorly. and stuff like 90s sitcoms, which are like 1-minute tunes, packed full of musical development, musicality. Those are the stuff that performs best. So I've got to think about how to capture and retain attention and end very quickly. Another instrument you could consider as part of this is the filter. The filter is not a tone-producing instrument, but it does select what gets played. So I'm going to think differently about composing this album, because traditionally I think of notes, and what I need to think of now is more production styles and routing. So how to route certain elements of the track to certain parts, flip between chains, mastering chains, or bus chains, basically. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on this in this instance of the track. That's fine, that's cool, let's keep going. This, we've got a kind of I'm listening in the background to a melodic instrument, which sounds a little bit like a bell, actually. No. It's like an FM bell, basically. That might be it, actually. That's a good basis for it. Crystal Vatchet. Let's go even higher. Quite a high alias at the top there. I think that fits quite nicely, actually. Crystal Vatchet is the name of it. I'm going to make a note of it. And there's no reason to really hunt much further than that. I'm going to call it a synth lead. Glassy. It's a glassy sound, yeah. That's why it's called Crystal. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, great. That's cool. This is that rave sound. This is summertime in a rave style. Okay. That sounds like a tractor starting up. I like this kind of thing too. Useful on the low end. Rumble. That sounds perfect. I mean, you don't really need to go much further than that. I mean, there's so many. Look, I've been making notes for like the last 15 minutes on which patches to use for this upcoming cyberpunk album, and like I found so many things I want just in the C's. I haven't even gotten past C yet, so I'm going to make a note of this one too, Cybergoat, and we're going to call it oops, it does have the word cyber in the title, which obviously influences me. We're going to call this a low brooding. It's a low brooding and digital sound. I'm sure I'll get the hang of that. Somebody chatting with me. Hey yo, what is up? Sorry, just a sec. Restore chat. Retro Plays says sounds great. Thanks very much, Retro Plays. And I am just in the early stages of making a cyberpunk album. Now that I'm finished with the GTA sounding stuff I was doing for the last couple of weeks. onto another popular game, which is Cyberpunk 2077. So let's go with that. Okay, Cyber Goat is in the bag. These are nice for moments. I mean, all of these things are so great. You can make a whole track just by like starting out with this, you know. Just hold down one note and you got this. And you hold down a fifth like this, like check it out, an A and an E. So you put a beat to that and you know you got something. So these are good idea generators too. My only issue is that like I release Ableton templates which are portable, and this isn't ideal if you don't have Massive. I mean, everyone has Massive, but if you don't, you're just going to get maybe an audio file. Maybe I should just bounce them basically. Do a freeze of these big instruments, bounce them out, and maybe just explain, maybe switch them off before I export the file and explain that there are dependencies for this project. If you have Massive, you're good. If not, you can just use the audio file. I want it to be editable, basically. That's the idea. That's what I do. I release portable, self-contained Ableton templates. So, Retro Plays says, I have a suggestion. Could you make some 90s sitcom stingers? I mainly mean something like Living Kicks. Retro Plays, already done, my friend. They are available as part of the full package. Go check out the link in the description of the 90s My Home video channel. $9 gets you the whole pack. You'll get the stingers, which are short 10-15 second versions of like Living Kicks and stuff, like all of the tracks. They're included in the full bundle. I don't just hand everything out. But if you got $9, you'll get all of the stingers for the 90s album, as well as the full tracks and the separate stems. So you can use just the beat, for example, if you want, in your production. And you can also, you're also going to get loops. You get some loops included with that. So yeah, I encourage you to go check out the full pack. And yeah, thanks for being interested in it. It's great to know that there are people out there who know what the hell the 90s album is. Check this out. That sounds crazy. So you making Retro Plays? Are you making like a sitcom for your channel, or what? What's your deal? Dark and Fragile. This one's called Dark and Fragile. It's a string sound. Yep, you're making a sitcom. That's cool, man. I enjoy watching people put their shows together. You've got to look up the Full House font on DAFont or dafont.com, because that's like the one for using, for like, the corny, like, someone's like turns around and faces the camera, or like rollerblades towards the camera, like that kind of stuff is. I should have actually done Full House. I didn't do it. I did all the other ones, but not Full House. Anyway, yeah, 90s stuff is apparently still in. I thought I'd move on from the trend before it died, but people are still making sitcom spoofs, which is great. It's good news for me, and it's good fun for the community. Dark and Fragile. So we're onto the Ds now, and I'm looking for, let's call it the string sound. So what I'm going to do now is just add Dark and Fragile to the, this one here is called Dark. And it's very much the strings sound. Cool. And I've got like a lot of what I need already now, and it's just putting together the beats basically. What if I just put this whole album together with that handful of sounds? I mean, that's not impossible, right? People have done far more with far less. Should we start composing, or should we keep on fleshing out the palette of sounds? Because it's a rabbit hole. You could keep on hunting for the right sounds forever. It sounds like the main influences for Cyberpunk are trance music, like 90s artists like ATB and like pre-Tiesto era trance. Dubstep, a lot of the beats are half time, and the hyper moments whenever in the game are going to be double that. So that's actually 4 times that, which is drum and bass. So dubstep, drum and bass, trance, and a lot of the instruments are heavily distorted. So distortion features as a sort of instrument on its own. I'm thinking about how to make cyberpunk music, and here are the patches that I've found so far as part of the massive Native Instruments massive device. I will definitely be doing some live guitar because I enjoy playing guitar so much I can't help it. So why don't we get on with the next chapter, which is finding the right beats. Unfortunately, Ableton has a whole series of drum racks that can easily be processed to sound like the right instrument. A lot of them are here. I'm going to just get out of the way so you can see what I'm scrolling. I'm just looking for something that would be a good starting point. Garage kit, let's try that. I don't know if that's the right one, but let's see. Definitely looking for something now that it's more electronic influenced. I mean, I could use battery again. Maybe I should resample a battery kit, because battery's got like some of the best sounds, you know. Cool, where are we? Let's go down 2 octaves. That's not bad. Not really what I'm looking for though. I don't know what half these are. How about we just hot swap out and figure out on the way. So I'm going to be previewing different kits here just to get a sense of what's available. These are all Ableton library kits, which is what we need for these portable music packs that I make. So I make self-contained music packs using as many of the default Ableton instruments as possible. My goal for releasing these packs is to make sure that anyone with a copy of Ableton 11 or higher can open the pack or open the template and simply start editing. They don't have to worry about missing samples or files or anything like that. That's a bit too modern. That's quite nice. So it's all self-contained. I'm looking for a kind of a drum and bass sound. Drum and bass sound. Some nice kits in here. That's very futuristic. I'm not going to be using any of those. They're a bit too naff. That's a very like that's not a bad start. It's a bit tinny though. Let's see what else we got here. No, that's too acoustic. So now we're on the right track. That snare is definitely going to need some work. I see up the chain here there are bass distortion sounds. Those are useful. That sub bass I'm almost certainly going to use. I'm going to keep this what is it called? Lycra kit. I'm going to keep that as a wannabe stand-in, and let's keep on browsing. Cool. No, mollusk kit. Oh wait, no, I'm still on the wrong channel here. Cool. Yeah, tell me more about your sitcom Retro Players. I'm dying to hear like what it is that you guys are achieving, what are trying to achieve. What stage of it are you at? Are you done with it? Are you still writing? Are you filming? Are you doing it on a phone or a camera, or how are you doing it? Just for fun or for a church group or anything like that? Quite a few churches use the music I make for like youth activities and stuff, which is cool. MT Dill Kit, what does that mean? What does that mean? MT Dill Kit is not switching out. He said, Retro Plays says, well, it's a sitcom that takes place today. That's interesting. So kind of you using the 90s as a sort of a tone setter, but it's actually not set in the 90s. Our protagonists love the movies of the 50s to 90s. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good angle, because like, you know, nostalgia is really in these days. That's why when you look at like all the big shows on Netflix, no one's really like, using their smartphones in the shows. They try and minimize the use of tech, and a lot of them are set in the 70s and the 60s. So, and people have always watched movies about the past, but I think now the difference is there's a real intolerance for films that rely too heavily on like technology for the storytelling. Everyone I feel like people want to get away. It's like their sitcom or their show is a form of escape from the demands of technology. That's why they don't want to see people on computers and using devices in the show. It's because they're trying to get away from that, you know. And also, cell phones kind of ruin storytelling. Like, a lot of storytelling is about missed communications. So one person is, stuck at the parking lot while the other one's stuck on the other side of town. 50 years ago, you didn't have a choice. You had to make up a story as to how they found each other. But now, with cell phones, you have to make an excuse as to why the phone isn't working, and everyone's like, the battery died. That's like a very common, lazy type of storytelling. So it becomes harder actually to set stories in the modern era when every second minute you could just be asking, oh, why didn't they just call each other? More importantly, sci-fi. Okay, it's science fiction. All Retroplays says also it will be recorded in a game. Okay, not sure what you mean by that. Sounds like very meta, actually. That kick's nice. I think what I'm going to do is just create a new drum rack. Let's duplicate this one. And then this is something I don't like so much about Ableton, is that you can't easily initialize a drum kit to its previous values. And now I've got to exit this drum. I've got to exit this in order to... it's interesting. Retroplays says, it's funny, the only reason the sitcom will exist is because of your music inspired me. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, cool. Let's get I'm going to just get back on this side so you can see what's cooking. Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate that. You'll find a lot in that if you decide to get the big pack, and I'm here to help, like if you need specific sounds or whatever, then just reach out. 2 weeks ago, I did a month and a half ago, I did a custom job for a YouTuber called Tracy May. I'm going to write her name in the chat. She's doing a series at the moment called Depression Nest, which is sort of a sitcom spoof too, and it uses music that she wrote, but I produced it for her. So she's singing and I did all the beats and the music basically. So if you want that kind of thing too. Retroplay says, I meant it will take place in real life, but I will record it in the game. It will take place in real life, but I will record it in the game. Sorry, dude. This makes me feel very old. I don't know what the hell that means. Yeah, sorry, man. That's like way too meta for me right now. What are we looking for? We are looking for a drum rack. So let's get one out here and head back to the drums scrolling, where I am looking for interesting samples to build out this cyberpunk kit. Let's start with that. That's a lovely kick. I love it. Cool. Let's take that, stick it in here. Kick lycra. Retroplays says, ooh, I meant, well, like instead of filming it in real life, I will film it inside a game because it's easier. Oh, okay, so you're gonna like generate it. Have you heard of Nothing Forever? That Twitch stream that it got cancelled, but have you seen Nothing Forever? The generative AI Seinfeld's Twitch stream. Have you heard about that story? If you haven't heard about it, look up Nothing Forever. There's clips of it on YouTube, and it's so interesting. It's like this really lo-fi, generative Seinfeld episode, an unending episode. It's like 24 hours. It got cancelled, but the script was written on the fly. The vocals were generated on the fly. All the animations were generated. It was like the entire thing was generated. It was quite amazing. Okay, let's get on with this. So we are making that nice fat kick, yes. What else from Lycra kick can I steal? Hi-hat. Not sure these are the right hi-hats, although I do like stuff with analog in the title. Okay, let's just adjust this a little bit. There we go. Okay, where are we? Okay, not really the right sound. What else? These are just bass samples. I'm not going to use those. Oh, the sub-bass sample I'm going to use for sure. Let's get 16 samples out of this, and I'll use that as the entire track palette. So I'm going to put sub-bass over there, and let's go over to the next kit in the series, which I'm going to preview and consider for inclusion in the palette of sounds for this cyberpunk album that I'm now doing. It's been a tough week, dudes. I've had, like I said, internet issues, and the streams have been cut short. I basically haven't delivered like very good stuff this week. Subs are growing. I think YouTube does tend to plug you more once you hit 1,000, which I did 2 weeks ago. Very cool. Thanks very much for joining. So now I'm getting more subscriber growth, which is what I've been working for ages. And I made a $40 sale last night, which is like the highest I think I've ever had through Pond 5. So things are moving forward, for me at least, and I hope that I can continue moving forward for you guys too. Retroplay says, not sure I have, also sorry, something is delayed. My chat is delayed. Oh yeah, cool. I've got the chat settings on the stream to like the fastest possible, like ultra low latency. But it's cool, we can just chat async. I'm going to be here for like another 15-20 minutes while I build out this Ableton vibe. That's quite nice. Is that an open hi-hat? Wow. I think this might come in useful as a sound effect device. I'm going to use that. I think that's it from Rhythm Rag. Thank you, Rhythm Rag. Drum rack. I'm going to create 2 different drum racks here. One of them is going to be the kind of classic drum rack. The other one's going to be a more edgy one, I think. Right, so if you just joined or you're new to the channel, I am doing the fun stuff today, which is just finding patches and kits which have got interesting sounds which might suit the cyberpunk genre. So I'm writing cyberpunk music. Yeah, this just in. Going to be about 8 weeks on this next project, after which I'll release all of the template files like I do with all of my music, at least for the last few albums. And I also release the tracks, of course. Creative Commons, you can use them in your videos and your games, no copyright flags, just credit me. And yeah, if that sounds good and you want to be notified, then join on Patreon, link in the description. You can join as a paid or free member, and you'll get an email when I release new stuff, which is typically 3 times a month. So basically the cheapest way to get hold of the music and the templates I'm making, if you're an Ableton producer and you want to screw around with the stuff, re-edit it, remix it, that kind of stuff. It's a great way to learn. Okay. That's it. That's a cool one too. I mean, there's so many freaking sounds and samples you can use. I don't even know where to start, really. Okay, the Rhythm Rag. This is the 3rd Rhythm Rag kit I've loaded. Let's move on from Rhythm Ragger, shall we? Okay, are we making 2 different kits here? Let's load that one into there. Yes. Dude, load them up, load them up, load them up. Selector kit, thank you. Cool. Delete Rhythm Rag and Lycra and continue with this. Retroplay says, well, I'll go now, but it's been nice chatting with you. You too. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Always makes my day when I get to chat to you dudes. And yeah, stay tuned. I'll be making more of this kind of cyberpunk stuff for the next 8 weeks. Streams every day, 2 p.m. UTC. That's 9 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, I hope to see you again. If you stop by, I'll most definitely say hi and have a little chat with you. No worries. Good luck with the sitcom, dude. This is weird. I don't like this one. Yeah, I don't even need battery for this. I mean, I thought I'd have to use battery to get some decent drum sounds, but Ableton actually does this quite well. That's a nice hip-hop sound. That's a fat kick. Have we got a fat kick in this one? No, we don't. It is nice. Is it dubstep there? That's the question, because that's what I'm aiming for with this album. We've got 2 tracks. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's all very similar to the stuff I've just been making now. Cool, let's hot swap out that kit, for sensor kit. That's the kind of kit, that's the kind of snare we need for the classic kit. Let's go back to that. That, but with a bit of balls to it. So let's just hear this. Yeah, that's good. Now we just need to bring this volume down, I think. Taper it a little bit. We'll fine-tune this kit as we go. Cool. Alright, let's move on. We're looking through different samples to create a custom kit for the cyberpunk music I'm going to be making. None of that really strikes. Slackjaw. That's nice for hip hop, but I wonder if any of these things have like metadata tags. Like if you search hip hop, would it come up? That sounds very Ableton. This is ethnic percussion, not really needed. Also hip hop. Nope. We're looking for trance influenced stuff. Trance and dubstep. So again, Street Mind. I'm looking in the wrong place here. Trap might be good. Let's try that. I'm actually trying to cherry pick samples that work. Jeez, why is Trap Kit taking so long? Oh, maybe because I created it and it's full of crap. It might actually work, this one, yeah. The tune percussion, tune kick.